Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Zid, and in the last video we've talked about the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program as well as the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program, which is currently taking place right now and in the next few days. Today guys, I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step process that I did that got me hired here in Canada in just 23 days with no Canadian experience. And I believe that you guys will learn something from my experience because it is already proven, and that by you incorporating my ideas and my steps will also help you progress on your application for permanent residence. Let's get started. So before we jump into the steps, let me just give you an update about the resumes. So in the previous videos guys, I've told you to send me your resumes, and I did receive a lot of resumes from you guys, but I found a lot of most common issues, and here they are. Number one, most of the resumes I got were not in Canadian style. So I've told them to transform their resume into Canadian format. Second, most resumes have profile photos on them, so I've told them to remove the profile photo. Third, most resumes don't have a LinkedIn account, so I've told them to create one and put it on the header section of their resume. Fourth, most resumes have 3 or more pages, so I've told them to cut them off into just 1 to 2 pages only. Meanwhile, for those who don't have issues with their resumes, I've already sent them out to my network as well as my headhunter. Before we move on guys, please consider subscribing to my channel, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate all of the support. Now let me tell you the exact steps I did to get hired in just 23 days with no Canadian experience. Step 1 is planning. So we all know that action without planning is the cause of every failure, underachievement, and frustration. So every action you make should always start with a plan. So what is your goal and what are the steps you need to take in order for you to reach that goal? In my honest opinion, I think a lot of people are not getting the job they've applied for because they didn't plan well. Even before sending out your resumes to job sites, it has to be 100% perfect. So today I'm going to show you the steps I did to getting my first Canadian job. Let me show you guys now. Alright guys, so if you're having a hard time getting a Canadian job offer, no worries guys, because I'm right here to provide you my experience, and I know that you will gain something from it, and this will be a big help for you. So the step 1 is planning. So guys, in order for me to plan well with my job application, I've created an Excel file to list all of the jobs I'm applying in Canada and to track my application. So let me show you guys right now about my simple job application tracker. So it consists of the date applied, the location, the company name, the position, the skills required, and the source. So in the previous videos guys, I've been talking about LinkedIn and Indeed.ca, and as you can see here, most of the jobs I've applied for is from both of these sources. Alright, so now I've been applying to jobs for more than 100 times already, and the biggest mistake I'm making is always rushing to send my application. So what I did is I organized my application for a day. So instead of sending out all of the resumes in one day, what I did is I send resumes for 3 times per day only. So 3 for March 18, 3 applications for March 19, 3 applications for March 20, 3 applications for March 21, and March 22. Now you might be asking guys, why only 3 applications per day? Well, the main reason for this is because I have more time to create my resume for every job I'm applying for, because each position has a different requirement. So this position here has different requirement than this one, and this has different requirement than this one. So it is important to tailor my resume to the job requirements. So for this day alone, I've created 3 resumes for the 3 companies. Now, if you're still confused about tailoring your resume to the job requirement, no worries guys, let me explain further. Alright, so for example, if we look at this position from this company, we scroll further down to the job requirements. So guys, my resume must be tailored to the job requirements. So what I mean by that is each of my duty must match what they're looking for. So for example, if they're looking for someone who can code test, debug, and deploy both GUI in forms and reports, as well as batch process in ProC, then my resume should look like something like this. So develop Oracle forms and reports, test and debug issues, as well as process batch jobs using Unix shell script and ProC. So as you can see guys, there's lots of keywords that are matching, such as this one, Oracle forms and reports. Yes, they've mentioned about Oracle forms and reports, and someone who can develop, test and debug. And in here they said yes, someone who can code, test and debug, and as well as process batch jobs using Unix shell script and ProC. And yep, they're looking for someone who can process batch in ProC. So if you can see guys, this particular duty of mine is optimized and is tailored to this particular job requirement. So if you guys are not getting any response from the employer, most probably your resume is not optimized and is not actually tailored to the job requirement. So what happens is there's no keyword match, and therefore your resume is never selected at all. So it is important guys to take time to create your resume and tailor it to each of the job requirements, so that your resume will be selected and that you will get a response from the employer. So in my case, I can only send application 3 times maximum a day, because I need to take time to actually create my resume and tailor it to the job requirement. Step 2 is execution. Now, once I laid out my plan, the next step is to execute, which is sending out my application to the companies. Alright guys, so after completing step 1, which is planning, which means creating my resume and actually tailoring it to the job requirements, the next step is to send it out to all of the companies. So I think I have about 15 companies that I applied for, and out of these 15 I get about 6 active applications. So again, I created a job tracker for me to track all of my active applications. So this tracker actually consists of the company, the last contact name, the last contact medium, the last contact message, the skills required, and the update. So for example, we have here company 1. The last contact I had was on March 19, 2015 for this contact name. The contact medium is phone, and the last contact message I had was a Skype interview to be held on March 26, 2015 at 8:30 a.m. for this particular skill. And the last update I got is to wait for feedback. Next step is Oracle PL SQL exam. So the next company, which is company 2, is actually where I got my job offer. The last contact I had was April 8, 2015 for this particular contact name, and the last contact medium was email. The last contact message is proceed with the job offer for this particular skill, and the latest update for that is contract signing on April 10th, 2015, bring transcript of records and diploma. Step 3 is follow up. So after I've sent my application, I would normally send a follow-up email just to show my interest on the position. Let me show you an example. Alright, so if I don't get a response from the job I've applied for like about a couple of days or a week, I would normally send out a follow-up email just to show my interest and eagerness to really work for the company. So this is an example of a follow-up email that I created. So, dear sir, madam, last week I applied for the position of software developer. Being very enthusiastic at the prospect of joining your team and leveraging my software development skills, I would like to kindly ask if you could get some update regarding my application. Please let me know if you need more details about my application. I look forward to speaking with you and sharing my ideas on how to help you with your upcoming challenges. Kind regards, Zid, my full name, my designation, mobile, and email address. Step 4 is to prepare for the job interview. So in this step, what I would usually do is to go over to the internet and search for candidates who have already gone through the application process and then look for interview questions that I got from the company. So let me tell you how to do this. Alright guys, so to look for interview questions from previous candidates, go ahead to glassdoor.ca and then log in with your Facebook or Google. In my case, I'm going to log in with my Google account. And then once you're logged on, type in the position you're applying for, let's say software developer, and then set this drop down into interviews and then put in the location, let's say Toronto, Ontario, and then hit the search button. So this is what I got, and these are all of the interview questions. So you may want to filter the questions by date, so go ahead and click on the date link right here. Alright, so let's take a look at some questions. So this guy here applied as an embedded software developer at Ecobee, and his interview was nothing really technical. It was just asked about past experiences and past projects as listed on his resume. So this one, guys, is very important for me because at least by looking at this, I will be able to prepare better for my interview. Let's take another one. So this guy from applying for a software development manager at Maripost said that there were few questions on management style, but for the most part, a very novice interviewing style. So you also get to get the feeling on how the interview went just by looking at some of their inputs here. Now let's take another one. This guy is applying for a software developer at FDM Group, and he was actually asked about what is the purpose of the static identifier in Java, and also do you prefer working on many tasks at once or one task intensely. So you can go over to this website, guys. It's glassdoor.ca, so that you are much better prepared for your interview. Step 5, which is the last step, is accepting the job offer. Alright guys, so I'm gonna be honest with my applications. So I'm gonna share with you my entire application process from the time I've submitted my application all the way up until I got my job offer. And along the way, I'm gonna give you important information that I believe will be helpful for you when you start applying for a job or getting or having your interview. Alright, so on March 18th, 2015, that is the time I've sent my application. Now, after 5 days of sending my application, I received my very first response from the headhunter, which was on March 23rd, 2015. So this time I received my first email requesting for phone interview. So guys, I actually want to show you the entire email, but due to confidentiality issue, I could not provide you the entire email and message. So what I did is I just screenshot the date, which is March 23, 2015 at 12:06 p.m. just to prove to you guys that I did receive this email request at this certain time. And the position is actually Oracle Forms developer. And just to add up, if you don't receive any response for like 5 days or a week, then it is always best to send out a follow-up email, because by you sending that email, you're actually showing your interest and eagerness to be part of the company. So it sends out a good message to the HR or the HR manager, and in that case you're giving a good impression, so most likely you will receive a response from the HR. Now after 4 days, on March 27, 2015, I actually got my very first job interview, which is an HR interview, and most of the questions I actually got were situational questions. So with situational, guys, for example, how do you handle a conflict with a coworker? Or another, for example, you have a current task that you need to complete 2 weeks from now, and then suddenly your supervisor came up and then gave you this new task that you need to complete like 2 days from now. So how do you handle this situation? How do you prioritize your task, and how do you manage your time well so that you can deliver both of the tasks required before deadline. So stuff like that. Now I just want to show you guys again the email that I got, and I cannot provide you the full email again due to confidentiality issue, but what I want to show you guys is the time and date I received this email, which is on March 27th 2015 at 11:57 a.m. So this is a proof that I did receive this email at this particular day and time. Now, after 11 days, which is on April 7, 2015, I actually got my second job interview, which is actually a panel technical interview plus an exam. So the exam, guys, was about an hour long. I'm gonna create another video which focuses on my job interview as well as exam, but for this particular video, I'm just gonna show you guys the overview of my application process. So again, I want to show you the email that I got, which is on April 7th 2015 at 4:25 p.m. just to prove to you guys that I did receive this email, which is my second job interview invitation. Now, exactly 23 days after I've sent my application, I got a job offer, which is on April 10th 2015. And at this step, guys, I've actually provided my transcript of records as well as my diploma to my employer. And again, here is my email on April 10, 2015 at 10:41 a.m. just to prove you guys that I did receive this job offer email, which is the offer of employment. So guys, that is my timeline, my job application process, and I wish you all the best for your job application in Canada as well as your application for permanent residence. And I really do hope that I will be able to meet you guys soon here in Canada. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to write down in the comment section down below. If you guys haven't watched my previous videos about express entry, you can try going through these videos right here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Good luck.